Welcome back to Wellness in Minutes, where we give you bite-sized health information that's easy to digest. Be sure to check out the show notes for details on the full episode and more from the Food Matters podcast.
Can you just tell me a little bit, just because I know that our listeners would like to learn more about this, because, we have this negative self-talk that can be disturbing us, but then we can also have things that we've experienced in our subconscious as a traumatic event in our life that can keep replaying us, tripping us up, and bringing more chaos into our lives. How do we then address this trauma that we've gone through we've all gone through trauma.
Okay, so if you're aware, so you have this awareness, this is pure awareness, this is you. But you have identified that awareness with the I in the head, right? This is what happened. And with the emotions that you have and with the outside world. So you can also identify this awareness with a certain traumatic event. So then your awareness gets stuck within that time frame of the event. That's actually what happens. So you're stuck in there, and this time, the event is just being there all the time. You cannot let go. First of all, I think when you have a trauma that is related to this life, you need to address that with EMDR. Because it's
explain that, please. What is EMDR?
EMDR is a release method to help you process, which you apparently did not process yet. That's why your system is constantly bringing it up. So your system is actually asking for help. That is what it's doing. Yes. So when you feel that trauma, it's a cry for help. Help me. Mm-hmm. So when you do EMDR, the therapist will help the system to process whatever is going on while you get stuck in that memory. And it's a very easy and fast and very effective process, because I'm an EMDR therapist myself. I'm not practicing anymore because I'm doing the training, but I know how it works. And it's like you have this cut in your hand and it will not heal. You have to go to a doctor. It will help you clean the cut and stitch it up again so it can heal properly. That's what an EMDR therapist will do. And you need that. And then what you need to understand is we are all in karmic return.
Okay, before you get into the next level, explain even just the words EMDR, what they stand for, and how this type of therapy for releasing trauma has come about. Because I think our listeners are really just diving. This is so, it's so new for a lot of us, that you practice and train this every day. Yeah. But for a lot of us, we don't even realize that we have traumas, and we realize that they may be coming up, but there's, we don't even know where to turn to heal them.
Right. So it's originally it's called EMDR. It's eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So through eye movement, at first you just have to look at something and your eyes have to follow that while thinking of a picture of the trauma. So not going into the trauma itself, but identifying, like, can you make a photo of the trauma? Where are you? Where is the other person if there's another person in this picture? So what do you think? What is happening in that picture? What do you feel when you look at that picture? What do you think about that person in the picture? And there's always, listen, this is so interesting. There's always an I am connected to a trauma. Did you know that? On a deeper level, there's I am a victim, or I am not enough, or I am weak, or I am whatever. So there's always an I am in the trauma, which is connected to your divine energy, to your source energy. So what happens is in a trauma, you have this I am, this belief connected, and then the energy will move through that and you will create more of the same. So that is why it's so essential to get that out of your system so you can reconnect to who you truly are and not have these beliefs constantly, how do you say that? Twisting your energy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the listeners that are very intrigued on how they can reverse trauma using EMDR, how can they get in touch with you or your practitioners worldwide?
Well, worldwide, you can best go to someone in your own neighborhood. Just go to an EMDR therapist, because there are lots of EMDR therapists, or EFT. You can do. It's about the same. It's all about reprocessing the trauma, which is related to the now, in the present, in your present life. So you want to have that that load of energy that is still connected to that out of your system so you can breathe again. So that's the first thing you need to do if you have trauma.
And so that you don't repeat the cycle again.
Exactly. But in order to do that, you need to understand that in order for trauma to happen in your life, you have built up the energy within to create that. I'm going to have that land within you for a second. Because from an energy standpoint, it is this: the inner world creates the outer world. It's not the other way around. So if you're in a trauma, there has been an energy buildup out of your field of vision. That's true. You're not aware of this because I don't know if you know this, but we are only like 0.000% aware. Did you know this? We're such a tiny.
We hardly use all our full capacity. Hardly.
Nothing. We use nothing. So we don't know what's going on in our system. We have no idea. And since we are, I'm brought up in the Western world, you have one life, YOLO, you only live once, which is not true. So my awareness has been a lot of personalities throughout eons and eons of lifetimes, has used energy to live, qualified its energy with imperfection, and that has been stored within my subconscious mind. And what happens is, and this is called samskara, if the outer world creates the perfect condition, the karma within will be activated and it will manifest itself. It's like a magnet on the outside, triggers the karma within and it will manifest itself. But your mind will think it's the outside world because you cannot see it. It was already within me. So if you got rid of the first trauma layer, the first reaction to that trauma, you need to understand that you have a karmic return to face and you can clear that. And clearing it is much more simple than you would ever think. Because part of our true self, part of our authentic self, there is a flame called the sacred fire, which is a power. It's not imaginary at all. And if you focus on the true self, if you start being calm, opening up to who you truly are, and then calling forth this sacred fire, I call forth the sacred fire, as simple as that, to come and move through me and clear out everything that is related to the trauma I've experienced. I'm doing it in very simple words now. You can just do that. If you ask that, it will happen. And the sacred fire is love, wisdom, and power, which are powers.
Goodness.
Are not concepts.
Okay. I think I'm feeling that for the audience and the listeners right now, I feel it would be amazing if we can just do that a little bit slower. Because this is a really powerful, I call it the violet flame, but you're calling it is so powerful. And it cleans up all of this karmic samskara. It cleans up, allowing us to forgive ourselves, those people that hurt us, and allowing to really clean our slate. So if we can just do that one more time, but in a slower movement, if you can just walk us through it, and for those that are listening in the car, be careful because we're asking you to close your eyes.
Yeah, don't do it in the car. Do it later. Just, don't do it in the car. Not even the calling. Just listen and just be there. And when you're at home, you can go and sit. That's the first, you just sit. Sit somewhere you feel safe. That's you need that. Then put your hand on your heart. So you feel your hand. And then focus on the breath and breathe in. And allow yourself to really breathe in through your belly, not your shoulders. Don't go like that, but just through your belly. And take a moment. And I'm going to give you a really, really easy way to clear energy, but you need to do it a certain way. Do a couple of steps before you get there. I don't want to just throw you into the deep end. So just breathe. And focus your full attention on your heart area. And within that heart area, there's a flame within your heart. It's the heart's flame. It's where your life force energy comes into your body. Just pretend that you can feel it there or see it there, or however you want to experience it. Just be there within that heart's flame. And when you're there, send it love and gratitude. Just send it love. And if you cannot send it love because you think, well, my life hasn't been that great, then you may realize that it's not the heart's flame that has caused the problems in your life. It's the beliefs that you've accepted in your mind, in your feeling world, that have clothed your energy with imperfection, with discord. But here, within your heart's flame, that energy is pure, it is whole. So just focus your whole attention there and do not listen to any inner self-talk about this. And when you're there, you may realize that this is connected to the heart's flame of your higher self, which you do have. It's not a concept. And your higher self knows no imperfection. Your awareness is one-on-one connected to your true self, your higher self, your authentic self, which knows no imperfection, which will make it more easy to give love and thanks to the higher self, because the higher self is responsible for all the good, for all the true in your world, for all the love. And by sending love to your higher self, you are making yourself a magnet for the higher self. It will send that love amplified back to you. So just send your love in your own way. Just practice that, sending love to the presence of who you truly are. Making yourself that magnet, allowing the body to sit still. Allow that body to sit still. Opening yourself up. It's like you're calling your true self, but you need to wait for the answer. That's why you sit still. And you breathe that love, you breathe that gratitude towards your higher self. You know, your higher self is connected to the higher self of all your loved ones and everyone in incarnation. But it's also connected to aspects of the higher mind. Beautiful, beautiful aspects of the higher mind. And the higher mind is capable of resolving any issue you have in life. And life itself is a power. You're accessing now. You're accessing your life force energy right now, just by sitting still, breathing, sending love. So you do this for a couple of minutes until you feel you're calm. Getting calmer and calmer. Peace, peace, be still. And then we can ask for protection. And I'm going to use the affirmation from Instant Healing, prayer 3, which is the prayer for protection. I'm going to do a short version, okay, Laurentine? Okay, say,
Yes.
the light of God surrounds me.
The light of God surrounds me.
Breathe in that light. This is the truth. You can say to yourself, this is the truth. Your mind may
This is the truth.
Yeah, your mind may say something else, but this is the truth. The love of God enfolds me.
The love of God enfolds me.
Just be with that. for a second. See if you can feel that. And if you do not feel this, say, make me feel this as a reality.
Makes me feel this as a reality.
The power of God protects me.
The power of God protects me.
The presence of God watches over me.
Say that again.
The presence of God watches over me.
The presence of God watches over me.
And all is well.
And all is well.
And just breathe in and be there for a moment, fully engaged with what you're saying. So this is what I'm saying. This is the truth of my being. And if you're not experiencing this as a truth, it's because your awareness has gotten stuck in error beliefs like a little fly in a web of a spider. And you have clouded, you have surrounded yourself with all kinds of beliefs that are not true. That's why you cannot feel it. But this is the truth of who you are. And then you can say, I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that I have a pure source, which I am.
I acknowledge that I have pure source, which I am.
That's the real me. It cannot create discord. So you turn your attention inward to that source of who you are, and you acknowledge that is me. That's my real self. The I in my head is language. That means that I've gotten it in the outside world. It's not who I am. Just acknowledge that. And in that acknowledgement, your consciousness will start opening up for the truth of who you are. And the first thing you need to do is ask for forgiveness, not because your true self needs to forgive you, because everything is always forgiven. There's nothing to forgive, because in the true self, there is no discord. But forgiveness actually is an energy that cleanses you from your own guilt and shame. That is why you call on the law of forgiveness. And you do it like this. I call
I call
on the law of forgiveness
on the law of forgiveness
for all inharmonious action
for all inharmonious actions
and human creation
and human creation
with which I have misqualified
with which I have misqualified
life's perfection,
life's perfection,
and for turning away
and for turning away
from the light.
from the light.
And then wait, just breathe and wait. So if you would repeat this in your own meditation, if you would just keep focusing on the heart, be still, repeat, wait, you will feel this enormous sense of relief. Things will just evaporate, dissolve. We won't do that now because we don't have enough time, because this you can do for an hour and then come out of this and feel totally free, right? So this is the first step you do. You call forth the law of forgiveness. And then you can start clearing out this karma which has caused the trouble in your life. You would do it like this. I call forth
I call forth
the violet consuming,
the violet consuming,
purifying flames,
purifying flames,
forgiving mercy
forgiving mercy
to come in and around me,
to come in and around me,
in and around this problem,
in and around this problem,
and love away
and love away
all that is the cause
all that is the cause
of my struggle and distress.
of my struggle and distress.
And you just sit with it. And you allow that violet flame, which is an energy, it's a power. Some people can see it as violet. You may sense it in your feeling well. You just sit with it and you allow it to burn away, to dissolve into the nothingness of what it truly is, the cause of all your troubles. And you can repeat that as long as you wish. And then when you feel it's finished, you can say something like this: I qualify this situation with absolute perfection.
with absolute perfection.
And then you breathe in and out. And then you would end with love and gratitude.
With love and gratitude.
Thank you so much for clearing this.
Thank you so much for clearing this. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So this is a short version.
So yes, thank you everyone for listening. I really enjoyed that talk. I hope you did too. And there will be more of these on the Food Matters podcast. So head to foodmatters.com and see you again.